Welcome to Marvel Maniac and MCU After Show. This is your host, Eric Cicada, aka Mr. Honest, back with you for the Marvels. Yes, we watched over the last few good weeks, every other episode. We have been slowly working our way through Ms. Marvel. On Wednesday mornings, our first episode of the week, we usually go Wednesday mornings at 5 a.m. Central Time, and we're also 2 p.m. Central Time on Fridays, guaranteed shows. I have a proposed idea for Ironheart to give you my full undivided energy. I'm considering releasing one after show a day. So it'll come out on Tuesday. I'll put episode 1 Wednesday, 2 Thursday, 3 Friday. Ironheart. The new trailer looked great. Before we get into the Marvels. Actually, the new trailer gave me a lot of hope, along with Ryan Airy from Screen Crush pointing out there's good vibes coming off of this trailer and this show. Something I really like about this movie, The Marvels, the first thing I'll mention is the connection to the MCU shows that have been growing and being adapted all throughout this whole saga. And one of those shows was WandaVision, the first series, and that's where we got to meet the older Monica Rambeau and Photon. They never call her that, but I mean, she's Photon. Maybe her mom will help her get that name. Binary, the Captain Marvel of whatever universe she landed in. Oh my goodness, we have a lot to discuss. Like when we go to other universes, incursion style, we're taking the fast road. We're taking the highway to the other side. Like we don't know where we are. Energy like that. Honestly, I think what they did was really cool for the end of the movie. It really tied everything into the multiverse saga. The only thing that bothered me most was the fact that they created a really cool superhero team and then disbanded. And I really like their switchy powers, and I know it was just a gimmick for the movie. And I was going in thinking, how am I going to rationalize all of them being connected? Just so happens to be all of three of them being connected somehow. And you know what? The movie did a good job. And I just not looking that deep into it anymore because it was so much fun. And I remember loving the movie in theaters, and it's right between like and love, but I'm going to throw it on love because the payoff from Ms. Marvel, that energy, it enhanced the story and the emotional stakes. And I think Kamala Khan, maybe the secret main character of this movie, I think she was fantastic. I think she's the future of our MCU. I love the hope. She gives me already nostalgic vibes, because her show's been out for a while, and the more you get to know an actor, the more you trust them. And we got to see a lot of her in her own show. So when we have this meeting of these three women that we've seen from different aspects of the MCU come together, it does make for a tight, nice, fun movie. And I gotta say, I was missing this in the podcast because I was on a hiatus at the time. And I'd say rewatching it from a healed and grounded place compared to kind of like where I was then, it kind of like shifted my feelings about it, because I did feel just maybe a little meh about it the first time I saw it, but I remember still keeping it as my phone screensaver for a long time because I liked it, and I actually wanted to go see it again in theaters. It really is only the Avengers that get me back a second time. I always can rationalize waiting for Disney Plus release after I have paid my $20 entry fee to see the movie. I don't want to go see it again. I do want to see it again. Give me a movie pass for free, you know. I'm Mr. Honest of Marvel Maniac and MCU After Show. You're gonna, geez, you never heard of me? I'm just kidding. You all probably knew that. But anyways, I'm a little gimmicky tonight. I don't know what's going on with me. I think I've been so excited to watch this movie. I wanted to give Kamala Khan and Ms. Marvel a long, I wanted to cover it as if it was coming out. And let's be honest, we're kind of like waiting for Ironheart to come out as the next show, the next thing. Fantastic Four is coming up. Man, obsessing over it. And I'm excited for what Ironheart is going to bring to the table. I'm bringing this around again because, like I said, we see side characters and in the shows and they end up in the movies. And then we see new characters in the movies like Wakanda Forever, Riri Williams, show up in the show with her own show. So they are balancing all those things, but it has been said by Bob Iger himself, they're not going to be connecting very much to the movies and the shows anymore. I think it was stated that Vision Quest is something that sounds so fun, and I just don't even believe they're actually making it. But it's technically going to be like the trilogy. It's like WandaVision, Agatha All Along, Vision Quest. I don't know what they'll call the trilogy. I could come up with a million different names, but actually none. Let's get back to the Marvels. Anyway, as I said, very much enjoyed the movie. I love the swappy of place things. I think, I guess I have to put to bed the idea that I think the problem was the fact that you might have wanted to watch Miss Marvel and know Monica from WandaVision to make and enhance the story and the emotional stakes. And honestly, it's a great way to please hardcore fans, but it leaves general audiences maybe sometimes confused or maybe even a little left out because some people don't have the time or they just don't. They're coming to see a movie, like they got their whole lives around them, and then they know, okay, Marvel's good, I go see Marvel. Oh, what did I miss? How does everyone seemingly know this character already? Oh, I had to watch Disney Plus show, a 6 episode. Oh, okay, well that's just ridiculous. I'm not going to be a fan of Marvel anymore. And I'm 100% positive that that's how it goes every time. But yeah, Monica's sacrifice, it meant a lot. I think, you really could take her story in this movie and run with it. I mean, she doesn't even take her own superhero name called Photon. That just means we're going to get a little bit more of her in the future, hopefully. The villain of this movie was fun, but I'll be honest, she was kind of one-dimensional. If we're being real, she had a good reason to be doing what she was doing. Honestly, it was a little more justified than any just one-level hero, so I'll put her kind of like a cut above, because she was a victim in a sense of Captain Marvel destroying the hive mind, infinite super mind, AI mind, which might happen to our world because AI is taking over. And anyways, it's called the central intelligence of their whole world, and she destroyed it. And she's had a lot of time to do stuff like that. That's one of the things that Carol Danvers did. And I forget what they call it, the Annihilator or something like that. She's just so ashamed of doing this, and by the end of the movie, it's good. It's really cool that she's able to put her power back into the planet and save it. And I thought that was great. I'm jumping right to the end, aren't I? Well, there was a lot going on in the movie, so it's usually you're going to be thinking about the end of the beginning first. But I think, like I said, Kamala Khan, she's like the heart of the film. Her energy, her idolization of Captain frickin' Marvel, I love it. And taking charge with the Young Avengers tease at the end. We got a lot on our hands here. No payoff yet. This has come out. This has been out for a while, so we haven't heard much about the Young Avengers, but I like to believe that Agatha All Along was one of the series that is committing to getting Wiccan in the Young Avengers as well, and his brother, however the heck that's going to happen, hopefully in Vision Quest. Carol Danvers, we're exploring her guilt, like what I said, reconnection with Monica and sheer power. Plus, again, this binary tease later. I didn't know this until today, but she is another version of Captain Marvel. I just don't understand. Maybe it's just her mom who never had a kid because she was Captain Marvel. So it's still the same lady. It's not just a reincarnation of her that looks like her mom. Very confusing. Monica Rambeau, she's tied to grief, legacy, and selflessness in this movie. And her moment of heroism at the end is honestly the core emotional climax. And it is the sacrifice sad moment of the whole movie. I was actually also, remember when the evil villain lady puts on the bangles, both of them, and then she like explodes and rips a hole in the multiverse. And then Monica goes and fixes it, and then Carol's like, "Here, aren't these yours?" Like, she gives Kamala the bangles back, and she puts them on. Wow, she really trusts putting both on. We just saw the pure energy of these things literally destroy a lady. I mean, maybe it works with like only like Thor's hammers. Like you got to be worthy to wield both the thingamajigs. I'm not sure if these ancient artifacts had to do with King the Conqueror. There was a lot of speculation that the set 10 rings, 7 rings, the 10 rings, and then these bangles and maybe other things that we haven't found yet were all tied to King Dynasty in one way or another. But if that's true, we're not going to hear much more about it. / maybe they'll do King Dynasty later, or in like 10 years when they need more stories, and maybe it won't even be Jonathan Majors at that point. However, I have hope that we're going in a good direction either way. I mean, they don't really need the Bengals like to have a super like immediate answer to where they came from, but we may find out the answer in Doomsday. Maybe they've repurposed everything like that. The villain, Dar-Benn, like I said, not the most iconic, but she did serve the story's purpose, and it forced our trio together. So you got to give her some credit. She used a big hammer like Ronan the Accuser. It was purple, like it had the Power Stone when Ronan used it, but she has no Power Stone. So what is this magic? What is this magic? I have no idea. But yeah, Dar-Benn, rest in peace. She just blew up. And then she was saved, and she betrayed everyone again, and then she blew herself up. It was kind of a sad ending for her. And then she really left everyone really screwed with the hole in the multiverse left open. She just left it open. All right, let's talk about the impact of the MCU and the predictions. We all seen the movie. I'm not going to like recap the whole thing. I always tell, this is my campfire story for every episode for the past 25 episodes. I used to do longer episodes where I talked more deeply and intimately about every scene in the movie, but this is more of a reaction. It's more after showy. If I like, the after show doesn't need to be the recap show. We just talk about big moments and stuff. And these little declarations are just for me. Okay. If you were wondering, which you probably weren't, that's my reason. We get the Beast from X-Men, and it is actually voiced by Kelsey Grammer, referencing Charles Xavier, who is also in this universe. So where in the Fox X-Men universe are we? Is this the definitive one that we're going to be seeing the characters from this exact universe in Doomsday? Because we know these guys are coming back in Doomsday, so that's probably when we'll see Monica again, and maybe her and Carol and young Miss Marvel will have a chance to reunite. However, I think Miss Marvel is doing work in the shadows as per the end of this movie. I'd like to believe, and I hope that the universe Monica ended up in, I hope it's the Deadpool one, the Deadpool and Wolverine one, just so we keep everyone. We don't get too many separate universes. I think we're going to get like 3 we're going to be drawing characters from. I have no idea. This is just a prediction, obviously. But it's good to kind of think that way, because it wouldn't be like Wolverine from this universe, Deadpool from this, Cyclops from this universe. It's going to be one universe. So that was our first introduction to the universe that I believe is going to be the main X-Men hub of at least Avengers Doomsday, where we'll get all those classic characters back, which is just so exciting. These are the people they're willing to tell us about just to hide what's really happening, all the big surprises. They know how big people blow these movies up and how big they are for our society and our culture. And there's a hero in everyone. So the Young Avengers tease. Let's talk a little bit about that. Are they going to continue to call everything Avengers, like the New Avengers, Young Avengers, Mighty Avengers? I wouldn't care. Honestly, the more Avengers, the better. We've been missing out on them, and it's time to put these heroes together. Kamala pulls a Nick Fury, though, and she approaches Kate Bishop, as said, like Yelena Belova, the new Black Widow. She, it's a full circle moment for Kamala's growth, too. Potential teammates of this team is Kate Bishop, Kamala Khan, Cassie Lang, America Chavez. I don't know how they'll meet her, but I think they will. Wiccan, Speed, I think that's what his name is, his brother. And then there's in the comics, there's a Kang the Conqueror. I learned a lot about the comics these past few years watching Screen Crush and comic book channels and all that, But there was an Iron Lad, and he was a young King the Conqueror who didn't want to become King the Conqueror. That sounds cool. put that up there, man. Put that on screen one of these days. That sounds fantastic. Either way, the mutants are coming. But before moving on, like Kate Bishop's like Kamala says, you're not the only kid superhero in this world. And she's like, I'm 23. I thought that was really honest, and just thank you for saying that. Like, everyone's growing up, and your young Avengers, you've been trying to set them up for 4 years, but it's just not happening fast enough. And it was all of that landed in that one line, which I thought was really funny. I got a good little belly laugh out of me. So the mutants are coming. The mutants are coming. Everyone, ring the bells. The mutants, they are coming. This movie was fun, and it was action packed. There wasn't any moments of drag. There was a 20-minute period where they went to a planet where people can just sing as a language, and for some reason they couldn't speak any English outside of the singing part, except for the king, who Carol Danvers was apparently married to. She got around the universe, let's just say, in this off-screen time of 20 years. But I think that was funny. I was cringing at the musical thing in theaters, but I came to it knowing it was happening this time, and I actually kind of try to take it seriously. Like, actually just let yourself believe that these people only know how to sing, and it's like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna buy into this for a minute, and then you're like, okay, this is really stupid, but I'm buying it right now. The thing is, they didn't just make this up for the movie. This is in the comics. This planet. I don't know the name of the planet. And the scenes weren't really stupid. I loved the fight that happened there. And it turns out this singing colony has a decent army, because they have some defenses going there. Maybe I'm just making this up. Maybe this movie doesn't even exist. Well, what do you guys think, honestly? Do you think we're going to see a lot of Miss Marvel and Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel? Are we going to see this payoff to Monica Rambeau, a.k.a. Proton, giving her life, technically, to save, the incursion it's bound to happen again, I guess. It's very complex. I mean, we're going to find out what it means to have two universes of beings that we like, and will they work together? Will they fight? How many situations like this are we going to see in the craziness of these movies in the next few years? People will hate on Marvel. Everyone's got a right to hate on something that they don't like, but I give Marvel a lot of credit, and I know Phase 4 or 5 that hasn't been the phases 1 through 3, right? Let's all be honest. It hasn't been like that, but it's doing what it's trying to do is something original. They didn't just cave back in and start to make less movies, which maybe they could have done and it would have worked out better, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. I appreciate the push for Disney Plus shows. I'm a little disappointed in the fact that we're not going to be getting the connections in them, because that's what made, honestly, the Marvels really good for me. But like I said before, there's less fans, in my opinion, that are giving a crap about that. They want to know what the movie's about. It's very good in Infinity War when we see Wong introducing Six Stones and, very simply introducing the audience to the concept of the Infinity Stones. So if you didn't know what was going on with Thanos in the first scene, by the time we're all in the Sanctum Sanctorum in Infinity War, we're learning about the Infinity Stones as if we've never heard of them before. And if anything, that's more evidence that you could just sum up the show that happened that you needed to see. It's in a couple lines. I mean, it's not that hard to do, but I think they're making big changes because for example, let's just call it the Thunderbolts. I might have screwed up in my advertising of all that, but they advertised that way too. It's a phenomenal movie, and it was Marvel's best in a while, as said by many. However, it really didn't make a lot of money, which I could care less about. But in a way, I actually do care, because if the movies aren't making money, they're not going to make the movies. Problem is, I think the fans are a little too overly critical, but I can't just say that, because everyone has their reasoning. Everyone has their opinion. I'm not right about everything, and these are just my opinions. So, I think that we're doing good. I think there's been more good than bad. I've been enjoying my ride in the MCU, and I'm going to continue to do so. I really am excited to see what they decide to do with these next few movies leading into Doomsday, and I really am curious if they're going to be pushing that up back to May, not like a year later from when it was supposed to come out. If they did that, they'd have a lot of time to set up Doctor Doom, a lot of thought process, and a lot of just input and test screenings and making the movie as best it can dang well be. Because the quality of the movie, if I die before it comes out, I'll even say the quality was needed. Don't let me die before I see these movies. So, why see that is some negative talk. Don't talk like that. That's bad self-talk. I would recommend don't do that to yourself. Thank you for being here. If you'd like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/MarvelManiac and become one of our heroes. Get up on our wall of heroes. It's currently in our About section of our podcast. And we got our Michael Finney, the executive hero, the first hero. He is on our wall. Are you going to join him? Are we going to assemble a little maniac action here, guys? If you'd like to tip, you could throw a tip in the tip jar in the same section, but never necessary, only ever appreciated. Always goes right back into the show, living situation, all that. So I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you getting this far with me. This could be a way longer episode, but I don't want to just drag my feet through the movie when I think we can all picture it in our heads in about a good minute. And I'm just giving you my 2 cents, my honest view. I thought the movie was fun. I think I would watch it again and enjoy it. I would like to watch it with a friend or anyone. Maybe do a big rewatch before Doomsday. Maybe we'll collaborate then on a Discord or something. Maybe we'll do a big marathon. It's an idea. And so for next week, I don't know what I'm doing yet. We are going to be covering Ironheart, so episodes 1, 2, and 3 come out in one day. My releasing of that is still up in the air. I think I might want to, depending on how these episodes go, I might want to process the episodes one at a time and make each separate episode that week. So I'll release episodes Wednesday through Friday, and then we'll have four Ironhearts in a row. And I'm stoked. I'm stoked to see what they did with it. And it's the finale of Phase 5, officially the last entry into Phase 5. We are entering Phase 6, and we're coming to an end. But they keep pushing things up, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited to be a part of the Marvel journey with you, my friends. Marvel Maniacs, you mean the world to me. And until next time, Avengers, disassemble.